If you are going through cancer treatment today, whether that is chemotherapy, radiation therapy, or any other type of treatment, first off, you are a warrior and I admire your strength and courage. If you don't know who I am, my name is Marius Visser. I'm a biokineticist at the Exercise Medicine Center at our oncology unit. And today I'm going to show you 5 exercises you can do to actually help navigate your symptoms. We all know chemotherapy comes with side effects, some a little bit more serious than others. So before we start, it's always a good idea to speak to your healthcare professional, especially your oncologist, just to let him know you've started an exercise regime. Even though these exercises are the lightest exercises that I could find for you to do, these exercises are actually designed for those days that you actually feel the weakest, the worst of the worst days, but you feel that you must move, you have to do something just to keep you a little bit more sane. So I will be going through some of these side effects as we demonstrating these exercises for you. One of the most serious side effects, however, is cardiotoxicity. That is also why I've selected these exercises for you, because we are not going to raise your heart rate above that of, say, doing a cardiovascular event like walking fast, cycling, running, or some high intensity interval training. These exercises are designed to keep the heart rate as low as possible while working through strength and mobility on, like I said, your worst days. What you will need for today's exercises are a pair of dumbbells. It can be anything that you find lying around the house. These are 1.5 kilograms, probably 3 pounds, but I'll be using the 3 kilogram ones, probably around about 5.5, 6 pounds. So anything that you can find, doesn't have to be these weights. Can be 1 kilogram or 2.2 pounds, or it can be 5, depending on how you're feeling on the day. But start light and always pace yourself. Next thing you will need is a mat and maybe a rolled up towel if you feel that your head needs that little bit of support. Okay, so let's get into our first position. We're going to be lying on our backs with our knees bent. This is a therapeutic technique that we're going to use just to reset your diaphragm and help you de-stress a bit and just help you focus in on the exercises and the work that you're going to be doing over the next 10 minutes. So first of all, I want you to feel what it is you're feeling inside. How are you feeling today? Did you sleep last night? Did you wake up tired? Is your body aching? Are you feeling one of the side effects or more of the side effects like nausea, lightheadedness, dizziness? Also, things we're going to address is the peripheral neuropathy or the chemo-induced peripheral neuropathy, the tingling in the hands and the feet, the loss of sensation, which can contribute to loss of balance. But first, we're going to learn how to relax. And to do that, I want you to place your one hand on top of your stomach and the other one on your chest. And when you breathe in, I want you to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, everything in the stomach, nothing into the chest. So just like a baby, breathe in and out, in and out. And you'll see that my hand, my bottom hand, is the one that raises up and down and not my top hand. We're trying to change or fix the dysfunctional breathing, because a lot of people have the upper chest breathing. They do not know where the diaphragms are, so they breathe into the upper chest, which can feed into the neck muscles and give you a lot of labored breathing or shallow breathing, and using a lot of energy just to breathe, giving you neck and upper back tension. So let's first fix that. So one hand on top of the chest, one on top of the stomach, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and out, and again, and out. We're going to do 10, 5 more, and out, in, 3 more, and out, and 1 more, and out. Now you should feel a little bit more relaxed. You should feel a little bit lightheaded. That is oxygen going through to your brain now. So you're flooding all this oxygen into your brain and you're feeling a little bit lightheadedness. That's okay. It just brings back a little bit more clarity and a little bit more focus so that we can actually concentrate on the exercises. Next one we're going to be doing is we're going to be turning on the side, just on your left side, and then I want you to bring your legs up for me to about 90 degrees in the hips and 90 degrees at the knees. And then you're going to place your bottom hand on top of your top leg, and you're going to rest your head on the towel while extending your arms straight. You're going to take a deep breath in, and then as we start breathing out, you are going to rotate and see whether you can touch your opposite shoulder on the floor before your hand gets to the floor. And we're going to repeat that, breathing in and out. We're going to repeat this also 10 times on each side. Breathe in and out. Now, if you've had breast reconstruction surgery or you've had any type of breast surgery, you might only make it up to a certain point. That is okay. I want you to move slowly. You might still have some scar tissue that's tight. You might have some nodes removed out of the arm, or you might even have your port still in on one of the sides that you are going to feel that it's pulling a little bit. That is okay. I want you to be aware of it, but I want you to work through the mobility, because the actual mobility I want us to work on is the thoracic spine between the shoulder blades, the part of the spine right between the shoulder blades, above the upper back and below the neck. That's actually what we're trying to do. And then if the shoulder gets a stretch in it, or the front of the pecs on the chest gets a stretch into it, that is a bonus. So we want both of those, and we want a nice fluid movement. And breathe out. Another way to do this, which is I think a little bit harder, is if you keep your finger on the floor and you draw a circle around your head and then straighten out at the back. That's only if you have enough range to get into this position. But if you get it to a point where you're stuck, you can actually stop there, take a deep breath and breathe out. And as you breathe out, you'll find that your body relaxes more and gives you a little bit more range. So either the overhead one, or if that's too hard, you can keep the arm straight and just place it behind you on top of the floor. Okay, and bring it back. And let's go for 2 more. Breathe out. Again, once you get to this point, you keep it nice and slow, making sure that you don't open up the hips. You're keeping the legs locked down and follow through. And you'll find that the more you do, by the time you get to about 9 or 10, you will be closer to the floor than what you were on the first few. And we repeat this on both sides. We are going to get into our first strength exercise. I'm actually going to take away this towel. I feel it's better for my neck if I keep that out and I just remain flat. Okay, so now we've reset our breathing and we've opened up our rib cage, we've opened up our thoracic spine, and we've opened up our shoulders. This is the first time you're going to be doing this, so it might be hard in the beginning to get through all the stiffness or the scar tissue or that fear of movement some of us might have, especially if we've never done this before. That's okay. You can always pick it up on the next session. You can do this up to 2 or 3 times a day. Next up, we are going to do a back bridge. I'm sure you've seen this before. We're going to get our feet or our heels as close to our fingertips as possible, but if you cannot get into that position, that's okay. You can. If that's the furthest you can come in, that is okay. Some of us might have tighter quadricep muscles that might limit you from getting either your hips pushed through to the top or getting your feet back. It doesn't matter. You get as close as you can to your fingers. And then the next thing that we need to focus on is getting our shoulder blades into the floor. You want to draw your shoulder blades down and into the floor, because you're going to be using them to push off the ground together with your heels. And then we are going to link our breathing to our movements. We always link our breathing to any type of movements that we're doing during exercise. It's just a nice way to get your diaphragm strengthened and also help you support your lumbar spine by using your core correctly, by using your breathing muscles correctly. So we're going to start off by lifting your bum off the floor as high as you can by breathing out, and then slowly lowering back down again. Keep the pressure between the shoulder blades on the floor and breathe out. Get up as high as you can. I want you to feel your glutes working and your pelvic floor and all these core muscles switching on. Breathe out and down. Now, I have seen people say that your quad muscles are also working. That is actually not true. Your quad muscles are actually stretching. If you have tight quad muscles, you might feel it more in the front than in the back. That is just your brain letting you know that While these muscles are contracting in the front, you need some range at the top here. If you have very tight quad muscles, you might only feel that you're lifting up to there. You would feel like you are being restricted. That's okay. That's these quad muscles that needs to open up. So I want you to drive your hips through to the top as far as you can. If you feel this, it's a great stretch, but the actual muscles doing the work would be the glutes, a little bit of the hamstrings, not much, and the lower back supporting the movement. Then of course the core engages all the way through. That's 10. Let's go for another 5. Breathe in and out. Very important to keep the breathing on track. Always breathe out on effort. 12. That's it. Last 3. Breathe in and out. 3. By now you should feel the glutes warming up a bit, getting some nice burn. 14. There we go. And one more. And breathe out. And 15. Good. And slowly down and relax. All right, so we reset, take a deep breath and breathe out. Well done. We've done our first strengthening exercise. We are going to move on to the second exercise. The next exercise we're going to do is an upper body exercise. We are going to grab our 2 dumbbells. I'm grabbing the 3 kilogram dumbbells, and you are going to keep your knees bent, and you're going to place the dumbbells out to the side, and you'll feel that your elbows are now resting on the floor. The floor is allowing you only this much range. So for those that have had breast augmentation surgery or any node removals or any type of upper body surgery, this is a very safe position. And then from there again, we're going to breathe out as we lift. It's always out on effort. So we start our movement breathing out, and then breathe in as we come down nice and slow and controlled. Now I want you to picture you are pressing into a triangle. There's the top of the triangle, and then you're coming down to the base of the triangle. Try not to keep your elbows bent or the dumbbells too close to your chest and have this very awkward movement. Try and keep them out to the side, almost perpendicular to the floor. Pretty much a 90-degree angle starting off in the elbows and then pressing out. That's 1. And breathe in, keeping the tummy nice and tight. 2. There we go. Breathe in and out. 3. Now, for a lot of you, you might have some of these symptoms of the chemotherapy, such as the nausea, dizziness or lightheadedness, the chemo brain, which makes you forget things. And that's okay. You know, I always tell my patients that all these side effects from the chemotherapy is actually a sign that the chemotherapy is working. It's doing its thing. So I want you to think of it rather in that way, which is a positive way of what the chemotherapy is doing. It was designed to do that, and these side effects are just another sign of that. And 15, whoa, I can feel my arms burning just with these 3 kilogram weights. And we're going to relax, we're going to place them down on the floor. And then before we carry on, we're going to take a few breaths and out. So if you are feeling any one of those side effects today, I want you to remember the chemotherapy is working. Okay, and I want you to rest as long as you feel necessary. I've tried to design these exercises so that there's not a lot of movement up and down and picking up these things, and then you're on your feet, and then you're on your back, and then you're on your front, because I know a lot of the movements can trigger more nauseous, more dizziness, more lightheadedness. So I'm trying to keep you in one position for as long as possible. The next one we're going to do is a back exercise, and also opening up the chest and some stomach. So we're going to grab one of the dumbbells. I'm grabbing the 3 again, and I want you to lay it in your hands like that. Okay, and we're going to keep it straight out in front of us. Again, we're breathing in into the easy part, which is lowering, breathing in and out. I'm just moving my water out the way, which might be a good cue for you to drink some water. All right, let's start again. I'm keeping this out to the front. Take a deep breath in. See if you can reach the floor. Keep the stomach nice and tight, and breathe out as you pull to the top. And again, just let it go. You should feel pulling, especially from the surgery. You might be restricted here. You might have your port in. That is okay. I've done this a lot of times with my cancer patients. They feel perfectly fine with their ports. And some of them just report a little bit of the tightness pulling from the nodal surgery that they've had. and up. And we repeat this for another 2 sets of 15 or 1 set of 10, depending on how you feel of the day. I will put all the sets and reps in the program as well. Breathe out, in and out, and 5 more. And even though this is a lightweight, I can feel this working already. And as I said, you can rest at any point in time. If you're halfway through the set and you feel you can't do this anymore, you just place the weight down on the ground, you reset and you relax. Right, so the next exercise we're going to be doing is we're going to be working a little bit on the triceps at the back, just to give you a little bit more strength and tone and keep these arms strong. We grab our dumbbell. I just put it down above my head so it's easy for me to access again. And we pick it up, and this time I've got a side grip like this on the dumbbell. Try not to grab it like that. I want you to grab it like this because it'll be easier for you to keep your elbows tucked in. I don't want you to have your elbows out to the side like that because I want us to target the triceps. So we're going to tilt slightly back or just shift the weight slightly past or above your head if you're looking straight up, and then bend at the elbows only, and you'll find that the dumbbell will touch just above your head. And then keep the position of the elbows the same, and then you straighten your arms out and repeat. Breathe in and out and in and out, and you should feel the back of the arms working. If the dumbbells are too light, you perhaps have a 3 or a 1.5 kg dumbbell and it feels too light, which maybe not, seeing as if you're doing this on a bad day, you might feel that that dumbbell is doing its thing. But if you have a good day and you feel that you can actually go a little bit harder today, you can actually replace the one dumbbell with both. And you can do it with one in each hand. It is going to be a little bit more challenging in terms of keeping the coordination the same, but again, it's a learning tool. You will start learning motor coordination, which is good for the neuropathy. And you can also keep them together. If you want to, if this is too hard individually, you can press them together and do them like that. And let's go for 3 more. Breathe in and out and in and out, and 1 more. That's it, and out. Good, and relax. That is our 4th exercise. We've got 1 more. So the next exercise, before we get to the next exercise, how are you feeling? I hope you are feeling okay. Maybe getting up, you might have to sit for a while just so that you get the blood flow back into the brain, get rid of a little bit of a dizziness. It's okay. I want you to just sit and relax and just feel how those muscles feel that we've just worked on. Because the last exercise we're going to be doing is going to double as a balance exercise, and it's also going to help strengthen glutes, hips, core while doing an arm exercise. Okay, so for our last exercise, we're going to be standing on our knees. This is a bicep exercise, but the reason we are doing it off our knees and not our feet is because I want us to focus on the pelvic region area, which includes our glutes, hips, and core muscles of the spine. It's very important standing on our knees because you're allowing only your glutes and your pelvic muscles to work, and we are leaving out the quads and the hamstrings. Those are big muscle groups. They cause a lot more fatigue, and of course they let your heart rate go up a little bit more higher. But for this therapeutic range of exercises today, like I said, it's very low-key, very light. Maybe at some other stage we'll be doing exercises like squats and lunges, depending on where you are in your treatment. If you're feeling better, if you're starting to feel stronger. But today we are going to do an exercise that is going to almost bridge between the floor, lying on the floor, and standing. So this is almost like, see this as an in-between exercise, which is going to take you in the future into more strenuous exercises, if we'd like to call it that. So let's get up onto our knees. So you're going to be standing nice and tall, because what I want you to feel is your bum muscles are now switched on. I don't want you to squeeze them. I just want you to put your hands on them and feel actually how tight they are, okay? I didn't ask you to squeeze them. You are not tensing them. This is what we call reflex activity, right? The other reflex, you're gonna feel yeah, if you place your fingers there, you're actually feeling your core is actually switched on. So what we do from this position, we grab our dumbbells, keeping the shoulders nice and back, the chest nice and high. And then again, as we breathe out, we're going to pick up these dumbbells and down. Breathe in and out. And you see, as I get to the top of the movement, I am not curling my wrist at the top like that. I'm actually keeping my hands open, almost like I'm carrying a tray. That's going to place a little bit more tension on the bicep. So remember not to curl the wrist, because then you're actually changing the angle of the weight and you're losing a little bit of the tension. So keep the palms facing forward like that and let them drop down like that. Breathe in and out. That's it, and repeat. And 5. Okay. If your knees hurt doing this on the floor, you can always put in a pillow or a cushion or a piece of foam. It's all about being comfortable doing these exercises. Breathe in and out. And let's go for 5 more. Maybe your arms are burning. Remember, we got to do 2 sets of 15. But if 1 set is okay for you to start off with, that is perfectly fine. 13 and 2 more. And 14. And last one. And 15. Good. Well done. And relax. And we just sit back on our haunches. And this is where we end off our session. And again, if you feel at any point during these exercises you cannot continue, that is okay. You can stop. Make a note. The next day you try again and see whether you can actually make it further. The idea is to complete this entire set of therapeutic exercises for at least 2 sets of 15 reps. So if you can do that, you know you're in a good space, and that's where we can take it off to a more higher level of exercises. And there we go, 5 light exercises that you can do during your chemotherapy to help you feel a little bit better. If you like this video, please hit the like button, also hit the subscribe button, and comment down below to tell me how your exercises are going. See you next time.